Hey Zach, I looked over your lesson plan and so here's my feedback. I like the first part of your lesson plan and I like the second part of your lesson plan. You lost me in the transition a little bit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, okay, you picked the perfect evidence outcome and I'm glad you're tackling parts of speech because that's just something that needs to happen in 8th grade. All right, scroll a little bit. Sorry, you did not need to hear that, did you? Okay. So students will be able to create sentences using words in open form system, and be able to work on peer evaluation. All right. You might make this one a little bit more succinct, a little bit more objective, a little bit more measurable, so that students know exactly what your expectation is and whether they have met that expectation by the end of class or not. Okay. Just a thought on that. All right. So. Good. All right. So you start out class, review, they've already written their rough draft, all right? And so you're looking at ways that our identity is defined by others, which I think is a great way to have these kids write and to jump into this lesson plan, because it's really, it's where they're at. It's what they're thinking about. It's so relevant to them, okay? All right. So here you go with the anticipation guide, okay? And I scrolled down and looked at the appendix. Good. So you have the kids filling out, what this part of speech means and an example of it. So it's a really nice formative assessment for you, even letting them know it's okay if there's some blanks. Sometimes you want to watch out, and this is the kind of thing you'll just start to pick up on as you teach. You say things like, if there's some blanks, it's completely okay. I just want you all to show some effort. Gotta watch kiddos, especially once you start getting into 8th grade. They'll start watching you for cues like, oh, blanks are okay, some effort's okay. They'll fill out like one little thing and they'll sit there and look at you, like challenging. So you want to be thinking about that, especially, I know you're really good thinking about your differentiation and modification piece. If you've got Franco, who's a gifted and talented student, sometimes gifted and talented students like to challenge the teacher. And so, you may want to think about tightening up the way in which you're saying some of these things to students. But then again, Zach, I'm really just nitpicking here. I want to just help you really solidify your teacher persona, because you're so enthusiastic and you're so engaged with your students. And at one point, you're going to hit a kiddo who is a little cocky towards you, a little resistant towards you, and I want you to be ready for it. I don't want it to knock you over, okay? So, okay, excellent. All right, I love you. Pause for dramatic effect, question mark. So, great. So you go on and talk to them about language and about the open classes and how we use language to create identity inside of our classroom. All right, excellent. Okay, have them think, pair, share, so that you're not doing a ton of direct instruction. You're giving them some time to process. Perfect. All right, and then have them take notes on the board, the open form notes, so the classes of words, so that they understand that you can add to these. Now, you say guiding students to this endpoint may be difficult. To restrict simple guessing, students need to give a reason behind their answer. That's really wonderful. So I like that you're anticipating that, because kids will just throw random things out to you. Have a few more examples ready that go along with each class. You use running later on, right? A gerund. In other words, a verb with ing functioning as a noun, which gives me this and which gives me this. Have some examples ready for them about all of these. You have the tweet example, which is also used as a noun right now. Or a verb? I can send a tweet. That would be a noun. I can tweet you. That would be a verb. Nouns and verbs. Sorry. So have some examples ready for adjective, adverb, and interjection as well. Okay? All right. Excellent. You're so good. You're so good with the examples, right? Can I just walk up to someone and say turtle? Your kids are just going to always wonder what's going through your head next. It's perfect. Okay? All right. Cool. So then you push them on towards thinking about nouns. And thinking about gerunds, and not labeling it a gerund, which is just fine. They can interact with that piece of information later. And here's where you lost me just a little bit. So we're going to practice identifying the words in our DGP, and I'm going to give you all definitions tomorrow after we do the new week, which may or may not have a sentence, where a word we think is a verb is instead a noun. So I hope you hang on to that chart. Then you say, For now, I want you all to begin peer editing the essay we just finished in class. And then you have them working individually on that. And then you have them organized into groups working together. When you come across sentences that sound a little weird, don't hesitate to ask your partner to read it out loud to you. Edit your paper, it's still a draft. So do you see how you lost me in this transition here? I don't show independent practice of the open and closed parts of speech into what they're doing with their essay practice, okay? So move the essay practice and the peer editing piece to a different piece of direct instruction. Maybe it's on fluency or something like that. And then have them do some independent practice on these particular parts of speech. You know, giving them a sentence that uses a bunch of open class words and having them classify them as, you know, as to what part of speech they are, running through that sentence flow information we went through, right? So that they're thinking about and applying this information directly upon learning it, okay, in a guided practice way, right there in the classroom. So I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling a bit at this point. Let me know if you have any questions, email me or just talk to me next week. Okay, thanks.